Call the meeting to order. City of University Heights City Council meeting, September 12th, 2022. All five council are present. First order of business is approval of minutes, August 9th, 2022. The minutes were circulated. Are there any additions or corrections to the August 9th minutes? Hearing none, the minutes are approved by unanimous consent. Next is public input, and we have one member of the public.
Pat,
would you like to speak to the council? No, she's not here yet.
Pat still says joining.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead, and Steve Cool is here. And Steve, you're going to give the city street financial report, the annual report. Go ahead, Steve.
Okay, thank you. This is the annual city street finance report that we file with the Iowa Department of Transportation. We'll go through this paper copy of it. This is a copy of the file that I will be transmitting to the DOT. 6 pages long, not a whole lot of stuff to cover really. This information in the report is just limited to streets, sidewalks, right-of-way, and related issues. It's not any kind of a financial statement or anything like that. It's just an accounting of dollars spent for those purposes. So just right across the top here, the funds that are affected here: general fund, road use tax fund, the other special revenue, that's the special assessments, debt service, capital projects. We do not have a utilities, so we'll be reporting information in the 5 funds. Just starting from the top, a lot of these expenses are pretty much self-explanatory. Street lights, engineering fees. This is the portion that's paid for any street related items. In the road use, $44,000, that's general streets and related issues. Further to the right, the capital projects, $23,000, that's for the Gulfview Avenue project. Third line, street maintenance expense, that's repairs generally. There were a few small patch projects, but otherwise the bulk of that was the Tozer and Mahaska street panel repairs project that was completed this year. New signposts, street capacity improvement, $49,000. That's the final amounts paid in this last year to the contractor for the Gulfview Avenue project. The next 3 items: principal payment, interest payment, and bond registration fees. This is the debt service that is related only to streets and related sidewalks, right away. That information is also on page 3, which I'll briefly go over. Let's see, the bottom 3 items: traffic control and safety. Those would be the traffic lights, street striping, things like that. Street removal then was not quite $45,000. That was a lower year than expected. We had $60,000 budgeted. The year before was about $79,000, so that was significantly less. And then the bottom line, street cleaning, street sweeping. Transfers out, these are just transfers between a couple of the funds. Those will also be on the next page on revenues as transfers in. So on the next page, revenues. Okay, first line, this is property tax. The general fund amount, what that was is that was property tax money used temporarily for the net costs of the Gulfview Avenue project. Of course, you recall, end of July, those bonds were sold. And so we'll be transferring some money back to the general fund for the money that was fronted on that. Debt service, $33,000. That was the tax levy for one of the bond issues on the next page. The next line down, that's road use tax, $165,000. That, I believe, is the highest amount that the city's ever received. We even had $153,000 budgeted, so we had more than expected there. Assessments, that's special assessments collected during the year. Contributions, that was Paul's contribution to the Gulfview Avenue project. Transfers in, 70,000 came into debt service. That was received from the special assessments. And then the capital projects, 42,000, that was the property tax that the general fund received that they passed over to the capital projects to borrow, as a temporary loan over. So anyway, that's the summary of the revenues and receipts. On page 3 is the bond schedule. These are only the bonds that have street related portion. The 2016 bond, about 65 or 66% of that is street related. We have the total paid on it, total principal and interest paid, and then the principal roads, that's the street portion, and then same thing with the interest. And then the 2017 street improvement bond, that was that's 100% streets, and that's funded by a property tax levy. The next page, city street equipment, we have none, no road graders or dump trucks or anything like that. The next page after that, street projects. This is required for improvement projects that exceed the threshold amount. I don't remember the exact amount. It's somewhere around $55,000 or $60,000. When that contracts that exceed that have to be disclosed in the year of completion. This past year, for the Gulfview Avenue improvements, All American Concrete was the contractor for that, and that's the original contract price, and then the final price after add-ons. And then page 6 is just a summary of everything. The general fund, debt service, and capital projects funds all net out to zero every year. Road use tax, we have an ending balance of about $160,000. So we have plenty of money on hand for street expenses this coming year here. And then other special revenues, that's the accumulated special assessments money that will be used for future debt service on the 2016 bond. So that's everything in the report. There is no required publication or signed copy to be filed with county auditor or anything. I just transmit this tomorrow to the Iowa Department of Transportation with the information at the bottom, resolution number and today's date, and I sign off on that. And it'll take about 2 weeks to until I hear back from DOT for review and approval. So that's all I have on the streets report.
Any questions for Steve? Okay, consideration of resolution 2230. 2230 is before the council. Is there a motion?
I'll motion.
Motion by Bobby. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Steph. Discussion? Roll call vote.
Gone.
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Schroeder,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Swales. Or did we lose Doug?
I couldn't hear you, Doug.
Doug? Okay, aye. He gave a thumbs up. Motion
No, I
carries
can-
5-0.
Yep, I can hear that, Doug.
Okay.
Thank
Sorry
you.
about that, Doug.
Thanks so much, Steve, for doing that. And,
Yeah.
You can leave now if you'd like.
Okay, well, you're welcome, and I'll be on next month and probably November then too.
Okay, see you then. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
I'm going to move up the treasurer's report. Lori submitted the treasurer's report, and she also has a list of warrants. Lori, are there any additions, or council, are there any additions to the warrants?
I was actually just gonna email you, but I'm not ready. There is a check bill for LL Pelling for progress on the street markings.
Yeah.
So that's 7,665.36. And then Lexapol. So they're the annual policy manual for the police, and that one is 4,144.07, which I'll email, so you don't have to write those numbers down.
Okay.
Lori, I also sent you a text. There's one that came in the mail today from Galls for 657.
Yeah, I think we'll pay that one next month because I gotta find all the invoices that go with the
Okay,
statement.
no problem.
Okay,
No problem.
So just those two add-ons and,
correct.
okay, thank you. Is there any objection to paying the bills?
I
Hearing
don't,
none? Yes?
yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know about the LL Pelling one, as long as Josiah is great with the work being completed there and so on and
Yep,
so forth. I'm great with
I
that.
got the bills, I emailed them and he adjusted them and this is what
Perfect.
he
Great.
approved, so,
No objections.
okay.
Markings look great so far. Is there any objection to paying the bills? Hearing none, the bills will be paid by unanimous consent. And Lori, I know you're going to an important baseball game tonight at Banks
Not for a
Field.
little bit, but
Okay,
thank you for moving that up.
okay, so, okay, you leave when you need to.
Okay, thanks.
Very good, thank you. Next, under mayor's report, we have the resolution of the ARPA funding that was discussed last month and deferred to this month. And as everyone knows, that Bobby Scott and Stephanie Gahn and Steve Ballard and Mike Haverkamp and myself have been on this committee. And anyway, would Bobby or Steph want to start the discussion? I'm all for approving the recovery grant program that's been outlined.
I am fine, basically summarizing it's essentially the same as it was last year. I think the other, some of the business owners had a chance to review it and have communicated they're on board with the program, generally speaking, I think. And so, it's essentially the same as it was last time, for all practical purposes.
Would you like to make a motion for approval of 2229?
I'll motion.
Okay, a motion by Bobby. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Steph. Okay, discussion. Okay, ready for a roll call vote.
Just to be clear, this is actually resolution 2227. Remember, we renumbered those.
Yeah, I goofed.
Okay,
goofed
I
it up.
apparently have the wrong copy.
Nope, that's okay. That's okay. This is 2227. It is,
I know.
it's the right motion of what we were discussing, and this is the approval of the ARPA program. So. just
Okay,
to
this
make
is
sure we're clear.
27.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
Yep, no problem.
And I have
Roll call vote,
motioned and
okay.
Stephanie seconded that.
Yep, got that. Moore,
Aye.
Schroeder,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Swales,
Aye.
Gone.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, and now this is the consideration of resolution 2226. Is that right?
29.
20, okay. Okay, 29, and that is, this agreement with ECOG, which is East Central Iowa Council of Governments to provide
Admin.
services for the program and not to exceed, I think it's $4,200.
Yep.
Could I get a motion on the table?
I'll motion to approve resolution number
Okay.
2229.
Okay, motion by Bobby. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Doug.
Yes.
Okay, discussion. Okay, we're ready for a roll call vote.
Schroeder,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Swales,
Aye.
Gone,
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, Steve Ballard, you're gonna communicate with ECOG,
I
is
sure
that
will.
right?
Yes.
Okay, to get this going, and I know you've talked with how it's gonna be set up for the application and where and how to apply, et cetera.
Yep.
Right? Did you want to say anything about that?
The only thing I would say is that the ECOG will be hosting the forms on its website. There'll be a link, on the U-Heights on our webpage. So, it won't, for the consumer, it won't seem like it, but they're going to take care of that for us, which is a help. And the only other thing I would say is that just to publicize, and we didn't adjust the deadline. This has been on the table here for a month, and the deadline for applying is September 30. So you might just want to make sure everybody knows that.
Okay, very good. I'll contact the businesses that I can,
Thanks,
and maybe
Louise.
Bobby can help too. I don't know.
You bet. Sure.
But
Thank you.
I'll check with you too, that I'm notifying appropriate businesses. You can help me. Thank you.
Mhm.
So then we'll go on legal report, and Steve, you submitted a legal report. Do you have any questions for Steve or any? Okay, we'll go on to the clerk report. Mike, you submitted a clerk report.
Right. I have two things to add beyond the submission. I also submitted the GASB reports, and Steve Cool leaving. He could explain those much better, but that's a yearly report. We're required by the state to contact Kirkwood Community College, the Iowa City Community School District, and Johnson County to talk about TIF revenues that we have collected over the past years and how that impacts those entities. We can say that since the property was collecting zero taxes before we gave it a TIF, what we're doing does not greatly affect it compared to what had happened before. So those letters were filed and have to be filed by August 31st. The other thing I was going to mention, that the Board of Adjustment will meet on Monday, September 19th. They will be considering two different issues, both with garages actually. So that is on the calendar for the city website. Lisa's already put that up, but I'll be mailing the agenda to the members of the board and the applicants tomorrow. So that will also be posted on the city website.
Any question? Yeah, anything else? Yeah. sorry.
Just last thing I was going to say briefly is, we're kind of wrapping up the rental permit renewal, which I think has gone really well. We've got a few to track down like we always do, but I've really been happy with going to the online system now. This is the third year we've done it this way, and I think it's a much easier process. So.
Thank you. Any questions for Mike? Okay, we'll go on to police report and committee report. I know the chief submitted a detailed report. Do you have any questions for Chief about anything?
I don't have any questions other than I'd like to say thanks for, to this police staff for the helping us do a little block party last week or 2 weeks ago. That was a blast. It really was fun. We blocked off a couple blocks in front of Kozer and west of Sunset, and just had, I don't know, felt like everyone was there. It was fun. I had a great time. So thanks Officer Akers and Troy for helping us with that.
Thanks. I would have liked to attend, but I had a prior commitment. But Chris said it looked like all the neighborhood turned out.
It was great.
Anything else? Steph, did you have anything to add?
No.
Okay, thank you. We'll go on to engineer report and committee report. And I know that Josiah, you always want to say a few words.
Yeah.
To explain your
Can't get me to
report.
shut up, can you?
Yeah, that's just been a problem with you, Josiah.
Well, thank
Engineers
you.
say so much.
So let's start off. Yeah, I submitted a written report. I guess we do have a resolution for your consideration tonight. It's 2231. It's to approve the quotation received for the bus landing improvements project. The quick background, just to inform everybody, that was one of the projects approved in the current fiscal year budget. Fairly small project, but it does, it's one we've talked about for a while, and it'll be a nice addition for the bus stops there on Melrose. People get dropped off in the grass and or in the snow, depending on the time of year. So this will be much better improvement for accessibility. So we did issue that to 6 contractors who have done a lot of sidewalk work, and we got one quote back. And I will say that we called everybody, and a lot of them said, they would do it, but they're trying to wrap up things this fall and they don't want to get overextended. So we got a quote for a little over $7,100. I guess I should say it exactly, $7,132.50. That was well within our budgeted amount for construction and fairly close to our estimate, given how small a project it is. So given all that, we do recommend approval of the resolution.
Any questions for Josiah?
Josiah, if any of these are, and I know they're in the city right of way, but if they're adjacent to someone's house, would you contact those people and just give them a heads up in advance?
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds like a good idea.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for him? I'll put the consideration of resolution 2231. Now that's the correct number. Accepting the bid is up for the council. Is there a motion?
I'll make a
Motion.
motion.
Ooh,
Okay,
I'll second.
motion by Lisa. I saw her hand go up. And then the second, who wants to second?
I got
I
it.
heard,
Okay, Bobby's got it. Thank you, Bobby. So it's a motion by Lisa and a second by Bobby to accept the bid. And is there any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Scott,
Hi.
Swales,
Aye.
Gahn,
aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Schroeder.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. We'll move to both building, zoning, and sanitation. Tim, did you have anything to report tonight?
Nothing to report.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And e-government, Lisa, you sent around a report. Did you have any further comments? Any
No.
questions for Lisa? Okay. We'll go down to announcements. And are there any announcements anyone would like to make or? Okay,
I was gonna say, Louise, Pat is here. If,
oh,
Wait,
thank you. I
she
see
wasn't-
her.
yeah, if there was anything she'd wanted to comment on.
Thank you for letting me
she
know.
wasn't there. Yeah.
Welcome, Pat. We just went through the meeting. Did you want to speak publicly to the council tonight? I'm kind of thinking she might not.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, because she didn't. Okay, thank you. Thanks for attending. So is there any objection to adjournment? Hearing none, the meeting's adjourned by unanimous consent. Thanks, everyone, for your time.